join me now for a craft along, and hopefully we're going to get to make 3 cards. So these are some of the ones that I've done using this craft kit. This is one of the ones that we're going to make, and this is the kit. We are going to be using the things that are in the folder. So we've got the embossing folder, we have the stamps, and we have the dies. So we'll just get this out of the way. Now we've also got papers and cards in the kit. Beautiful papers, and there's your cards. So we will be using some of these as well. So shall we start with card 1? Okay, so let me clean this off. Right, so for card 1, I've created a base, and it's just a top folding one, and I've rounded off the corners. Now with the stripy paper, I've created a mat, and that's going to sit on there. And then I've also created a white mat, and I've rounded off the corners on this as well. Now then, with the paper from the pack, I've chosen the green one, and I'm going to pop this into the embossing folder. Now before I do that, I'm going to add some white ink to my folder, and the easiest way to do that is with a brayer, and I'm using some really bright white ink, and it is new, so there should be plenty in there. So I'm just going to load up this brayer, and I'm just going to roll it over the embossing folder. Now I'm going to get as much on there as I can, and then I'm going to take off these bits that I've smudged in the middle. Now once we've done that, we can put the paper in, the card in, and we're going to close it up, and we're going to run that through our embossing machine, through our die cutting machine. So just bear with me while I do that. Now once we've done that, we've got the white on our card, but we're going to just take it up a little bit further. I'm just going to put this back on there, then it doesn't dry out. So I don't know if you've used Perfect Pearls, but I've got some here. Now I'm going to put some onto the mat, and then with a paintbrush I'm just going to go over this with the Perfect Pearls. And then once I've done that, I'm going to trim this down and round off the corners so that it will fit onto my base card. Okay, but if you can see, we've got a lovely pearly effect on there. It's beautiful. All right, now sadly you can't save these that you've put onto your desk, so better not to put too much on in the first place. So let's just cut this down, and then we can round off the corners. So I'm going to cut it down just a little bit more than I need, and I'll probably have to trim it down even more. Now the best way to preserve these Perfect Pearls is to either spritz it with some water or give it a quick spray with some cheap hairspray. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I've just got water here, so I'm just going to spritz it. And that just sets your Perfect Pearls there for you. Now with a corner rounder, I'm going to round off these corners. So we want the 1/2 inch. So all you do with that is push it into the thing, and we'll just see how much we need to trim off. So we need to trim some more off this yet. That's better. Now we can round these off. We'll use the 1/2 inch one, And we'll round these off. And now that will fit on there. It's a bit too long, so I'll trim it again. And of course I'll have to trim the bottom again. Okay, so once we've done that, we can add these to layer up. Now I'm also going to use this paper, and what I'm going to do is decoupage it. So this is another piece of card that I did, and I think I prefer that darker one to the paler one, so we'll swap that out. Now what I've done is I've just fussy cut around these flowers, but if you look, they look very very pretty, but I've used some pencils just to add some colour into the flowers. So all I'm doing is using a dark purple and the lighter one, and I'm just going to add some shadow into the edges of these flowers. Okay, so you can see what a difference just that little bit of colouring does to your flower. Now what I've done is I've cut that side out there, then I've cut these three out there like that, and I'm going to cut this one out. So we'll just give it a little bit of ink, a little bit of pencil, and it's only pencil that I'm doing. These are, they're the Spectrum Noir coloured pencils, but I've had them a long time. So they've probably changed the formula of them now, but they are very good pencils and perfect for crafters because they're in the right price range. But I'll show you what they're like. They all come in a box, and I just put mine into something like this. So you've got all these different colours, and they're all really pretty pencils. You've got the greys, those are Prima pencils. So it's a good set to have, and you can buy them all individually, different colour groups, and then put them into your carry-all yourself. It does make such a difference, doesn't it? Okay.
Oh, Christine's got the other Christine has got the right idea. She said, "Shush, losing Mirage, folks. She's not supposed to be at work."
Okay, so once you've done that now, I'm just going to trim this out. So it's just fussy cutting. It's nothing special. It's just cutting around the flower, just to make it fit on our design. Okay, and another thing that helps is just going around the outside edge with some purple ink, and that just gets rid of the white bits on the card. So we'll do that with this. It just disguises it a little bit more. Now once you've done that, I'm going to take some little foam pads, and I'm going to add these to my flowers. So we'll put two there, and we'll... Oh, that's from Amazon. I've had it a long time. I've got two actually. I think they're about £15 a piece, but they hold about 60 pencils in them, and they are good value for money. It's not actually leather, but it is leather look. Yes. So we're still getting all our foam pads on this.
What foam pads are they?
They're from CraftStash.
Of course.
They are little foam pads from CraftStash. Right, so now then, we've got the foam pads off that, and I'm just going to chuck them on the floor. And now we'll just put these together, and I'll get some bigger foam. Right, now then, we'll add this with some flat glue. Right, so we'll add this on there. And we'll leave just a small border around the edge. Then we'll add this one there. Now you don't need to add that one if you don't want. You can just add that in. Oh, that looks even better. We'll do that. We'll just put this in. It's amazing how you can change your mind as you go along. Okay, so now we can add this into there. And then we can start popping these in. So we'll add this one there, and we'll pop this in the corner along there. Then we can put the next layer in. And this is just to use your paper packs. Nothing, we've not used anything else yet other than what's in the kit. So you'll have some new ideas here, as well as the ideas from myself and the other members of the design team that will be in your magazine. So we'll add that there. And then we'll put the top one, which is the single one, and we'll pop that right there. And that goes that way around. There we go. And that's a nice decoupage look for your cards. So let me just put this back. Now then, for our tag, I've just stamped, just to say which is in the stamp part. It's there. And I've just die cut the word hello from the die that's also in the kit. And that's been rounded off with the top of the die.
Diane Shaw might have missed where this is from. She's asked which magazine it's from, so could you just explain the Papercraft Society box?
Yeah, the Papercraft Society is a monthly subscription. You will get it delivered through the post for you every month, and every month it's a different designer. Because inside the kit, you'll get all the different goodies. You usually get inks and the dies and the stamps and the stencils, plus other little bits. Like in this month's one, with my kit, we have some beautiful organza ribbon. But you'll also get a magazine with it, just a little booklet that other designers plus myself will all add different things in it.
I did.
You did? Oh, Lou's saying she's got some in it as well. So it's well worth it. You can buy it either monthly, or you can buy it 3 monthly, or you can take out a whole 12-month subscription, and that's the cheapest way to do it. So back to this now. We've used this to just round off the top of the tab, and all I've done is use some of the paper that was left over from this there, and I've die cut the word hello. So on the back of this now, we're going to add in some more foam. So now we can take these foam pads off, and I've tied a little bow to the front of it. Now, another thing with the pencils is I've used the pencils just to shade the bow. So all I've done is just shade where the knot is, and then into the ribbon, and coming down the bow tails. And that just makes a little bit of difference to your bow. So now we can add this to our card. And we'll just add this with a little bit of flat glue. And we'll add this up there in that top corner. And then we have another one somewhere, but I don't know where it's gone. Can you hear her laughing at me? She says it's probably on the floor. You're probably right as well, Lou. It is. Okay. So we've got that in there. Now you've got a little verse in the sentiments part that you can very easily add to the centre of your card. So I think we'll do that now. And I'm going to use a stamping platform. Now you can either add it directly to your card, or you can add it to another piece of card and then put it in the middle. So we'll make sure that's the right way around, and we'll pick that up with our, well, we'll have to move it up now because we've got the front on that card. And we'll just add that in with some black ink. Now the beauty of a stamping platform is if it doesn't stamp properly or you want it darker, as long as you don't move anything, you can do just that. So there we are. And now we can finish that off with some pearls or some gemstones. So we'll just get some pearls. So now I'm just going to dress it up with some pearls. You can copy any of my ideas, I really don't mind. It's a compliment to me when people do that. So into these little rose, no we won't, yeah we will, into the little rose centres, we'll just add a little pearl there. And these are self-adhesive pearls, so they will stick in place. But I've got some pearls into the bows, and I'll add 3 down here. And I'm using the tweezers just to separate the pearls, and then I know they're all an equal distance. And that's your first card done. Now if you wanted to, you could go over this with some glitter pen, some Wink of Stella, or the clear glitter pens that you can get, and that would make a difference as well. And I've cut this from black glossy card. That's a pretty card to send to somebody. Okay, so that's one done. Let's get the next one done. Now then, the next kit, the next card is going to be just a small one. And on this we're going to use the stamps, and we're going to stamp out this long design, and we're going to do it onto a separate piece of card. And we just want a piece of card that's going to fit in there. With a leftover piece of the stripy card, I'm going to pop that down the side, and I'm going to trim these so that they're the same length. But this is the one that we're going to work on. So we're going to stamp this with versamark onto some white card, and then we're going to cover it with some white embossing powder. And then you're going to heat it until the embossing powder melts. And that's what you will get. Now I know you can't see it properly, but it is there. Okay, so we'll just pop that out of the way. Now I don't want to mess up my desk, so here's a really good tip. Go to the local tile shop and buy yourself a white tile and put some felt feet on the back. And now you can make as much mess as you want on that, and you can clean it off when you've finished, but at least it keeps your desk clean and tidy. Now the inks in the kit are the green, the yellow and the purple. So we'll start off with the lightest, and we'll add this to the card. Now all I'm going to do is just rub it on. I'm going direct from the ink pad, a third onto the card. And you want as much ink on there as you can get. Really, really saturate it. Now we're going to use the green, and we're going to blend this into this card. Now if you use a piece of tissue just to hold it, you won't get your fingerprints on there. So again, we're coming we're coming down here. Again, a third of the way, and there is just a slight difference in these colours, so at least you can see it. And then you're going to blend it up into the other shade. And then with the other ink, you're going to blend it down. So you should have a nice even blend on that card once you've finished. Now we can come over to the lilac one, and we're going to do exactly the same at the bottom.
So Amanda said that's a really good idea with the tile. She's got a really inexpensive glass cutting board that she uses.
Yeah, I've got a cutting mat here, a glass one, but I don't want it to get dirty.
I think you can get those sort of glass mats as well from really, really cheap shops, kind of small plain ones for the kitchen and cutting board.
Yes, but this is only about 50p.
Is it really?
Yeah, they're really, really cheap because they're so common. They're really cheap to just pop into the tile shop and buy one. Put the feet on the bottom of it and you've got a perfect mat for cutting on, colouring on, and whatever. So once you've done that, take your cloth and just go over your white embossing again. Okay. Now, you can clean this off so easy. And now we come to the next bit. Now, excuse my cup, it's dirty. So we're going to do some bleaching now. It's just clear water. And we're going into this. And we're going to remove some of the colour. Can you see it coming off? There we go. I've known people use real bleach to do this, but you really don't need it. You're using a water-based ink, and so it comes off very, very easy. And these are the inks that you'll get in your Papercraft Society box. And I think they're a hybrid ink, but they are very nice to work with. Now, can you see how much paler that flower is to the background? And the more you do it, the more water you put in it, the more you'll lift it off. And I'm just dabbing up the water with my paper towel. Now I'm going to go up and do the leaves. These will also bleach out. And it's just called the bleaching technique, really. Although it's only water you're using, you're still bleaching out the colour. And I'm sure many of you have tried this because it's such a nice way to do things. Now we'll go up and do the other part. And this is into the green. And this will also lift out. And as you come into the yellow, it won't be quite as noticeable. But it will lift it so that you can see just a little bit of difference in the yellow. Now, once you've done that, you're going to put some colour back in it. Now, you can do this any colour that you want. Okay, but I'm going to stick to the lilac theme. So I'm coming back with my pencils, and we'll start with the dark purple, and this is just coming into the base of each of these petals.
Juliet Reeves says it looks really effective.
It is effective and it's very easy to do, so I'm sure you'll give it a try because it is a very popular technique that lots of people do. It's ancient. Sorry?
Are they your normal pencils?
They're just ordinary pencils, yeah. So once you've done that, now you can come down to the end of the petal with your paler ink, and that just spreads out your colour. and blends it in to the card. So now I'm coming into the green and I'm doing a dark green at the base. And taking it out to the ends with the paler green. And that just adds a bit of definition into your leaves. It's nothing fancy. I'm not taking any particular care. I'm just adding it in.
Chris Neal has asked, what happens if you don't take the ink off and just coloured over the top?
What happens if you don't take the ink off what? The white?
Yeah, between your embossing where you bleached it, what happens if you didn't do that and just coloured instead?
Well, you can do that. I mean, on this one, all I've done is stamped it, embossed it, and I've not coloured the card at all. I've just left it on the thing. Nothing would happen. It would just colour the same. It would colour, but it wouldn't be as bright, I suppose. Because you've bleached the colour out underneath it to help this colour show through.
Yeah, Maureen's answered that as well and said yes, the colours wouldn't be as true.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's your card. You do whatever you want with it, because I think that's a really pretty one as well. You know, with just no colour on it. So there we've got that anyway. That's done. Now another thing we can do, Perfect Pearls also come in a little jar. You can buy this. This was £5. This one was £2.99, so there's the difference. Buy this and mix your own up and it's a lot cheaper. So I'm going to give it a good shake and then I'm going to spritz this. So we spritz that, we'll just leave it for a second or two just to let the Perfect Pearls bleach out the colours a little bit, and then we'll dab it off. And that now puts a lovely pearly effect on your card. Can you see it on the screen?
I've got a delay, I'll tell you in a minute.
There you go.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, that's a lovely effect. And you could do the same to that. Okay, now then, we've got our base card. We've got our panel. We've got our stripy layer that will fit alongside there. And because they're different lengths, I'm going to trim this one down to be the same length. So we'll just trim it down a little bit. And that's going to sit under there. Now you could add these to another layer if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it like that. Now with the bits of your card that you've got in your kit, I have cut a green layer and I've cut some from bright gold, and I'm going to add those down there. So I'm going to glue these in now. We'll put this one down first. And we'll just leave a little border around the edge. And then we'll put this one down next. And again, we'll leave a little border around the edge, but we'll have those overlapping. There we go. Now with some glue, we'll just run a bead of glue down here and we'll put the green stripe in. And then we'll add another bead down there and we'll put our gold one in. And then you can trim them off from the back. Now I think I've given you that tip before. If you get bits of glue or fingerprints on your gold or your silver card, just buff it up and it'll come back to shiny. There you are. So now we can trim these off. And again, they go on the big bin in the floor. Now I'm going to trim them off a little bit more so that they're level with the card. There we go. And then with a little label that I've just inked around the edges, I've just added just to say okay, so again we've got foam pads on there, and I'm just going to add that to the top of the card there. And now you can dress that up with some pearls or whatever else you would like to do. And again, you can put your verse in the middle, and that would be another finished card. So shall we do that with the verse? Where's the, because we've still got it on the platform. So we'll stamp that in the middle. And you've got other little bits in your stamp set that would help you to decorate this even more if you wanted to. Like for instance, you've got the flowers here at the bottom. So let's just add those in there. There we go. Now then, we all know that there are some beautiful purple crocuses around, and so I'm going to just do the same to these as I did to the ones at the front, on the front of the card. So we'll just add this paler colour up to the end. And then we'll use the 2 shades of green just to add some colour into the leaves. And we'll use the paler green just to take the colour the rest of the way to the end of the leaves. There we go. So there you've got another card finished. And if you wanted to ground those flowers, you can do that. And by that I mean stop them looking as if they're floating in midair. So you would just take a bit of a grey, and this will also make a bit of a difference to these flowers. Now they're not floating now, they're stood in the ground. And there's your card. So now we can add some pearls into this and decorate it up. So I think we'll add some dots and pearls just around the edges. So there we go, and we can add a pearl in here just alongside the sentiment. Well, we'll add 2, 3 pearls in there. There we go. See, this is it with me. I add all sorts to my cards. But there's your second card done now, with your sentiment inside, finished off with your flowers. So now we can move on to the third one. So we'll get rid of this. So for this one, we are going to, right, so this is just an ordinary card that you would buy in a pack, and I've just folded it in half and I'm going to use it that way. So what I'm going to do is open it up, because now you can see where the crease is. So let's just get rid of these for a minute and grab the dies. Okay, so now you're going to take this die and you're going to add it just on that crease there. And I would tape that in place so that it doesn't move. and have it equally spaced from each side. If you want to, you can just measure it and see if it's right. So let's just have a say. It's about 1 inch there. So we'll move that over just a fraction more. Okay, now then, once you've done that, you're going to run that through your die cutting machine. Right, so once you've done that now, take it off very carefully so that you don't tear your card. And you can push out all the little bits that are left in it. But if you look now, it's free at the top. So I'll just push out all these bits. Now, once you've done that, clean out your die. Okay, now back to the card. Once you've done that, you're going to recite the die. Now, what I would say to you is, don't put your pieces too close together, because if you do, it will simply cut it out of your card. So you need to leave a gap between. Not a big one, it's only a little gap, and you're going to put that on your back on your card. Line it up with the other one, and then you're going to run that through your machine again. And once you've done that, this is what you will have in your card. So if you put them close together, it will cut it out, but if you keep them apart, it will create this for you. Okay, so we'll pop that on one side because this is what we need. Now, once you've done that, stick with the same die, and this time you're going to cut 2 more out separately, unless you're clever enough to line them up completely. But that's now going to fit on there. And so that I don't get glue all over it, I'm just going to, I'll get my little brushes. Now, these are the brushes that I used last time, and I've had a lot of questions about these. These are from Amazon, and they're just makeup, for doing people's makeup if you have a salon. They're just a little brush on the end, and the idea is that once you've used one on one client, you throw it away and you get another one. But they're perfect for just adding little bits of glue without making a mess. Sorry?
I think they were made originally for eyelash glue.
Yes, they were. Yeah. But they're so handy to use on your cards, you know, on little bits like this. And we're going to add this to this one, and we're going to line it up so that it fits exactly on that. And all that's doing is just strengthening that piece, and this one will strengthen the one at the bottom. So once you've done that, now you can pop that in the bottom there, and you're going to marry that one up with the other die cut. That's it. So once you've done that now, if you wanted to, you could dress that up with some pearls. And we've got some pearls somewhere. Here we are. So all I'm doing is just adding some pearls across that join, just to hide it.
I think this die is my favourite part of the whole box kit.
Is it?
Yeah, I love it.
There we go, and that just hides that. Now you can dot other pearls into that when you want to, if you want to, which I will do once it's finished. Now, if you take your piece of card, what you're going to do is choose the pattern that you like. So what we're going to do is place our card along here, our selected paper, and you're going to take this. So what I would do is pop that inside, in there, and I would just add little pencil marks around there. very faint ones, so that you know where your die's cut. And then you're going to add this die in. So you can see that it needs trimming on both sides, just a little bit. So we can put the die in there, tape it down, and cut that through the machine. And then when you've done that, you've got a piece that's like this. And that's going to sit on there. So once you've trimmed it down at the side, and it's got a little border around the side and around the bottom, you know that will fit. And then all you're going to do is line it up with another piece and do exactly the same. So you've got a piece there at the front. We'll add this in. Okay. So you've added that there, and you're going to add this one on the back. So we'll add that there. Make sure it's equally spaced. That's it. So now this is the back of your card, and this is the front of your card, and it stands in tenfold, and that just stands up. Now once you've done that, you're going to take this die, you're going to cut that through your machine. Now once that's cut, once you've die cut it, it will give you two separate pieces. There's an outer frame there, and this is your inner one. So if I just pop this in place there, you'll be able to see what I mean. And I could have shown you, there it is. There's the other piece. Now keep that, because you can always use that on another card. But for this one now, we're going to add this along here. And from the oval, I have taken another stamp that I've got in my stash, and I've stamped for Mum. And then with the part of the stamp, I've simply gone around the edges and stamped some flowers, and then I've coloured it in with the pencils the same way I've done all the others. So we're going to add this with some foam, and we're going to add it to whichever way around you want this to fit on your card. And we'll make sure we get all the little bits out first. I've got perfect pearls all over my hands, they're glistening. So I think we'll have it in that way.
Christina has asked, will Ruby be making a cameo appearance at the end?
No, Ruby's not here. She goes to play school on Monday, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And because I'm not allowed out at the moment with going into hospital on Thursday, Vicky's picked her up and kept her at her house so that she won't snore. Because she gets in her basket down there and she snores. But no, sorry, she's not going to be here today. I can have her here. If I'm invited to do another one, I can have her here to show you, but she's not here today. Right, now then, with these and these and that one. Right, here we go. Now then, I've cut the bow twice to give it a bit more strength, and I'm going to add this to that one. And then we're going to do a little bit of colouring in it just to give it some more interest. That's a grey one. I don't want a grey one. We'll use this one. So we'll just colour the knot and into the side of the bows. And just coming down the tails. And it just makes that little bit of difference to what you're doing. So I've cut these from black card, and what I'm going to do is just add these along here. So we'll pop these in there. We'll have that one there, and we're just going to tuck them underneath the banner, the label. like so.
I really like using these guys as silhouettes.
Do you? The black ones. And then we'll add the little bow in there along the edge. Okay, so we'll just get that done now, and I think we'll pop these up with some small foam pads just to give them a little bit more interest. So we'll add that there. And we can trim this off a little bit and just tuck it under there and make sure it's fastened down. There we go. Oh, that's my stopper for my glue. Now then, that's going to show there, so we can't do that. We'll have to move it. So we'll move it to there. That's it. And then these will have to just go in flat. And we'll just tie the little bow on the end there. Oops, stuck to my fingers. Now with the other dies, which are these little floral ones, I've cut the big ones out and I've cut a small one to go with each of them, and I've lost another one now, so that's, there it is. That's probably on the floor. With these, I've also done the same thing, and that's just put some darker colour in the middle. And then all I'm going to do is just, and I've shaped them, I've used a little ball tool and a mat to just shape them. And all I've done is bring the ball tool on the petals and then flip it over and push it in the middle. And that can sit along there. We can pop a smaller one in the middle. And your ball tool will help you to push it into the middle as well. And we'll add this one just there, and then we can just lift up the petals a little bit once we know they're stuck in place. And then into the centre of those, I'm going to add a pearl. There we go. There we go. Now then, into the middle of each of those flowers, we'll add one of the pearls. Into the centre of the bow, we'll add a pearl. And then on these flourishes, I'm going to add some small ones. So we'll add one there. And they are self-adhesive pearls. But if you don't trust them, you can always add a spot of glue underneath them. So there we are. There's your third card. So we've been quite busy tonight. We've made 3 cards, and I hope you like them. Let me just clear all this off, and then we can see what we've done. So that was the first one. That was the second one, and this is the third. Now you've got plenty of room on the inside to add your verse if you wish, or your sentiment, and that will stand like so. And I will add some photographs of these, but there's your 3 cards. All using items from the kit, and not really, apart from the pearls and a little bit of gold card, nothing else. Coloured pencils have brought the flowers up to life, and I think those are quite pretty. So I hope you've enjoyed them, ladies. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hopefully I'll be asked back again. But that just about concludes this evening.
Thank you very much.
So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.